Hello guys, my name is Plamen. Again, you are with our weekly forecast for the upcoming week. Last week we weren't able to make analysis because we are working on some new projects and new types of trading, so we're gonna inform you when everything is alright and everything is done perfectly. So without further ado, let's begin with the forecast for this week. Okay, we are gonna start again with the weekly news and let's see what to expect for the upcoming week. Today, in Monday, we don't have very important news. We have the retail sales that were minus 3.9% for the Australian dollar and the construction PMI for the pound. Later in the day, we have the President Lagarde speaks. This is not very important. The most important news is in Tuesday for the interest rate decision for the Australian dollar. Later in that day, we have the Fed Chair Powell speak. And on Thursday, we have some EU leaders that are gonna be speaking and the initial jobless claims for the US dollar. On Friday, we have news for the GDP for the pound. And this is the important news this week. Last week was very busy with the news and was not very good to trade during the news. Some very large movements happened and we did not take any positions at all. So as usual, we are gonna start today with the euro dollar and let's take a look on the higher time frames what is happening here. On the weekly time frame, you can see the very large candle that is showing us that the price probably it's gonna make some downward movement. On the daily time frame, there is a possibility that we can see a consecutive point on this daily trend line somewhere here, and we can see some bullish impulse wave, something like this. First to this high over here, then to the next daily level of resistance. The other option is on the 4-hour time frame. We can see the clear movement that is breaking these lows over here. And what is the possibility here? On this impulse wave, we can see some retracement to the levels of Fibonacci or the supply zone, which is at these highs over here, and from here to see a new bearish impulse wave. If you take trades here with the confirmation with candlestick formations, your profits should be at the weekly level, which is around the daily trend line. Okay, this is for the euro dollar. Let's move to pound dollar. Again, let's start with the higher time frames. On this currency pair, we can see that the price couldn't break this high over here, and we had the last week we had some side movement, and when the news for the dollar came up on Friday, now we can see the clear movement downwards. This movement is breaking this daily trend line, but it's not clear that the price is gonna make the new downward movement. We are gonna be prepared for everything. On the 4-hour time frame, again, there is a possibility at this trend line that is broken, the price to come back to test this trend line and to reach some of the levels of the Fibonacci and to make a new bearish impulse wave. Here we have a 4-hour time frame point of interest. There is a possibility from here to see new bullish impulse wave. This is our opinion. The other option is that from the consecutive point on this trend line. If here we see some candlestick formation, probably we are gonna look for some long positions, first to this high over here, then to the next level of resistance. And this is what we think for the pound US dollar. Let's move to euro Japanese yen. On the daily time frame, we can see that we had a very good impulse wave, a retracement which reached the level 50 of Fibonacci, and now the price is starting to make new bullish impulse wave. On the smaller time frame, there is a possibility. You can see that first the price got out from this range over here. It grabbed the liquidity here. Now it's grabbing the liquidity on these highs over here. And on this impulse wave, there is a chance that the price could reach some of the levels of Fibonacci, or even the point of interest, which is on this low over here, and to make a new bullish impulse wave to the higher point of interest, which is on this high over here. If it come back to here, the price probably it's gonna make a consecutive point on the weekly trend line, and from here we can see some very huge impulse, something like this. This is what we expect for the euro Japanese yen. Let's move to pound Japanese yen. This is pretty much the same. If we take a look on the higher time frames, we can see the impulse wave downwards, the bearish impulse wave, bullish, bearish again bullish, and here we can see that the price is touching this daily trend line and it's starting to make a new impulse wave. On the smaller time frame, there is a chance, again, here we had a point of interest which is on 15 minutes, the price to reach again this point of interest and to make the new strong bullish movement to this 4-hour trend line first, and if it makes a stronger impulse wave, there is a possibility to reach the weekly trend line, and here with the candlestick formation, again we are gonna see some very good movement, something like this. I'm not sure if this trend line, which is on 4-hour, it's gonna be respected, but we are gonna see. Okay, let's move to euro Australian dollar. Again, we are gonna start with the daily time frame. Here we can see that we have a consecutive point on a daily trend line. Let me just make it daily. Okay, and now the price is making some side movement. If here tomorrow we see a candlestick formation, a strong bearish candle, probably the price will gonna reach the weekly level again, and from here another bullish impulse wave. The other option is, we can see on 4-hour, here we have a point of interest. First the price has activated it and started to make a movement downwards, but now it's coming back to the trend line again. The other option is we have a point of interest down on this low over here, the price to reach the weekly level again, and then to make the new bullish impulse wave. Again, if the price here starts to make some side movement, we are gonna have a very good pattern which is called triangle, and we are gonna take and execute. If the price broke this low over here, make a test, and then we are gonna enter in short positions. But this is gonna happen probably this week at the end or the next week, and we are gonna be patient for executing trades. Let's move to euro New Zealand dollar. On the daily time frame, we can see a clear movement which is bullish, and here we have a consecutive point again on the daily trend line. Here we have on the first point, second, third point, and the price made very huge impulse wave. On the smaller time frame, we're expecting that the price is gonna make a retracement to some of the levels of Fibonacci, or to test the previous highs, this swing level over here, and then to make the new bullish impulse wave. But if the price makes a stronger retracement, something like this, to break this low over here, make a test, and to make a new bearish impulse wave. These are the second options. This is the two options. But it's most likely that the price, it's in uptrend, it makes a higher highs and higher lows, that the price it's gonna make the new bullish impulse wave, as we think. Okay, now let's take a look at the pound Australian dollar. Again, we are gonna start with the daily time frame. Just a second to remove this. Now, what we see here on the daily time frame, there was a very strong bearish impulse wave. Here was the retracement, and from here the price made very strong new bullish bearish impulse wave. Now, there is a chance the price to make a stronger retracement to some of the levels of Fibonacci, to make again a consecutive point and a new bearish impulse wave. We are gonna looking for something like this, levels of 61 or level 50 of Fibonacci to this high probably, and if it makes the consecutive point, we are gonna enter in short positions, something like this. The first profits are gonna be to the weekly level, which is at 1.72, and the second probably to minus 27.2, or even more around these lows over here. You can see this very strong lows here, and here we have a high on this candlestick, so probably it's gonna be around here. On 4-hour time frame, there is an option here on this impulse wave. Now the retracement is reaching the level 61.8 on Fibonacci, and there is a consecutive point on the smaller time frame. This is the third one. Here, if we see some holding of the price, and with the next candle we see a very strong bearish candle, we are gonna looking for some trades to this low over here before the weekly level. There is another chance on this high over here. We have a point of interest which is on 1 hour. If the price reach this point of interest, again we are gonna enter in trades to this low, which is before the weekly level. And as we said, on the higher time frame, there is a chance the price to break this point of interest, to reach the daily trend line, and from here to expect a new bearish impulse wave. These are the options, pretty much as the Euro Australian dollar. And let's move to Pound New Zealand dollar. What we can see on the daily time frame, here we see a very huge impulse wave, a retracement, and another impulse wave. And now the retracement is deeper, it's reaching 78.60 on Fibonacci, and this should tell us that probably this impulse wave is over. But sometimes when the price just touched this level, there is a point of interest which the big participants are trying to reach. You can see it on, this is the candle, And if here the price just touch this point of interest, we are gonna expect a new bearish impulse wave. Something like this. It's gonna be to the low. This is gonna be the first profit, and the second it's gonna be around the weekly level. Again, here we can see the consecutive point on the trend line, and if we see a candlestick formation, even the price doesn't reach the point of interest, there is gonna be a good short position with a small stop loss and a very huge profit. This is what we think for the pound New Zealand dollar. Let's take a look at the gold. Okay, last week after the news came up, you can see the very strong bearish impulse. Here these two candles, this is around 1,000 pips, you can see. And now we think that this impulse wave, which is the very strong uptrend, probably it's over. Now we are gonna expect some retracement, because here you can see a lot of imbalance here and here. And if the price come to the levels of Fibonacci, there is gonna be some trend line, something like this. And here there is a possibility the price to make a new bearish impulse wave to this daily level on this low and this highs over here. Again, on the high right before the strong bearish impulse wave, we have a point of interest, and the second option for the gold is to make a deeper correction to the point of interest and then to make the new bearish impulse wave. Here we are gonna have a perfect trade, which is with stop around 100 pips, and profit first it's gonna be on this low around 9,000 pips, 900, excuse me, and the second profit to the daily level, which is at 1,250 pips. This is one great trade, so be careful. Okay, and this is our analysis for the currency pairs that we are trading and the gold. If you like this video, share it with your friends and subscribe to the channel, and expect next Monday our weekly forecast, so stay tuned. Thank you for watching. See you next week. Bye bye.